we start.
Right, here's when we please. Dear Lord, thank you for a beautiful day you gave us today. Lord, we thank you for getting everyone here safely tonight. We ask that the decisions that are made in this room tonight are pleasing to you. And get everyone home safely tonight. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Drew. I'm gonna try to call Kevin Dale again.
He was at a grass fire about 30 minutes ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I sent him a message, said they working a grass
Oh, okay. Did he go work? Did he go out on the call? But they just texted him, so I'll call back in a few minutes. He said, okay. Let's see.
I think they've been so busy up there, they're all going out there.
Dogs.
Hey,
Okay,
you with us?
I'm with you.
All right, here we go. We're gonna start off. Drew did the prayer, so we're ready to start. And on the personal appearances, school board appointee Barbara Washington, they want to reappoint her. Anybody want to make that motion?
Remove.
Motion by Kevin Dale, have a second.
Second.
Second by Will. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is Union County Leadership Academy, or Leadership Union County Committee, I guess.
Gentlemen, Madam Clerk, it is really an honor and a privilege that I'm here tonight to, I don't know if y'all are familiar with this year's Leadership Union County group, following in Phil Nanny's footsteps when he organized one back in 2011, I think. So this group has been meeting regularly since September, focusing on different aspects of the city and the county. And tonight we have a few guys that are on a committee that are looking at a class project that we think will be an extraordinary opportunity for New Albany and Union County. You each have some info on it, and with that, I have included a list of the members and the committees that they are serving when I talk to you about this project. And I have with me tonight who is going to give you the information. And I don't know if he's gonna sing or dance or what he's gonna do. Something about
Whatever works.
Mom's favorite country band.
Who's mom?
Who's mom? That's exactly what I said, Mayor. But anyway, let me just, Justin, come on up. Y'all remember a couple of years ago, we had the conceptual plan for the Little Tallahatchie Greenway. So within this huge conceptual plan, generational project, there's one little gem right here. It's the park along the river. So this is what Justin is going to tell you a little bit about tonight.
Good afternoon. How are y'all? Like Betsy said, my name is Justin Kirk, and I'm here with the Leadership Union County class. And this year our project is, and I'm assuming this project's gonna keep on going through the next few classes, but to start with reimagining the park along the river. Like Betsy said, it's our gym here, and the park served us well for 35 years. so far, but now it's time for a little bit of an upgrade. We're not coming to you asking for money. We're coming to you as friends of the park to say that we're here to help. We want to extend our resources with starting a foundation and raising money, as well as picking out, doing all the hard work and working closely with Chase and the park commission to make sure that these dreams come true without having to cost the city an arm and a leg. We're here tonight asking for your blessing to allow us to continue to work together and try to make the park even better than what it is now. Be a little more inclusive, a little more educational, and a good starting point for what's to come, which I think this area down here is going to be awesome. I don't know how many years it's going to take to get there, but I know if we start now, then we can get there. So thank you guys for having us tonight. And like I said, we're just asking for your blessing to let us continue and work together with you guys to make this better for our kids and their kids and kids for future generations. So thank y'all so much for having us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you got our blessing, that's what you're looking for.
That's all we want. So it's okay to move forward.
Yeah, we fixing to.
Okay.
Oh, you mean y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You going with us?
I might. Next is Departmental Business. Bill, looks like you first, but you the longest.
Let's quick and painless if we can, Mayor. Yes, we do still have folks working at Holly Springs, by the way. We've got probably 7 guys up there. And it's a lot better than it was, but they've still got another couple of days of work to do. So we're gonna try to hang in there with it as long as we can. We got, maybe bad weather tomorrow night and see what that brings. But anyway, hopefully better times are ahead for folks up there. Yeah, got a bunch of items. First is a pay request on the municipal buildings, pay request number 14 to Roberts Builders, amount of $112,524.75.
All right, let's will the board. Motion by Will, have a second. Second by Drew. Any other question or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah. Also have a change order on the municipal building, part for the police side and then part for the light, gas, and water side. Will may have to help with this on the police side. I know we had to add some electrical circuits in the dispatch area. There was some surveillance equipment that needed to be added. There was a floor leveling issue. Part of the slab wasn't leveled, didn't get discovered until after they were in there. I think Eric, we wanted to get that leveled out. It was kind of a tripping hazard. And a rear sidewalk was added to the building to get to that back door. On the light, gas, and water side, we added a window. We had to add some cabinets and did some adjustments to the cashiering area. The police side was $21,370. The light, gas, and water side, as Frank, I believe we updated that to $11,750. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
Motion by Keith, do I have a second? Second by Parks. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
We'll try to do number 3 and 4 together, Mayor, if that's okay. They're both pay authorizations to KAJACS Construction. The first one is pay request number 27, and it is the final payout for the wastewater treatment plant. That's the amount of $42,500. Then another pay request number 6 to KAJACS Construction, the amount of $80,720.31. That's on the Carter Street pump station. Both of these are out of the USDA project fund.
All right, have a motion.
So moved.
Kevin Dale, second by Will. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, the next 2 are for projects on out of our electric bond fund. The first one is to our electric money. The first one is to Atwell and Gent for engineering work, design work on our communication system. It's in the amount of $131,420. The second pay request is to TESTCO. That's the group that does our automated metering. Again, we're implementing that system. We got about 1,000 meters in over the last month. It's going really well. Been really pleased with the results. So the amount for the products and services in the last month is $253,965.80. Like to approve the table today.
Motion by Keith, do I have a second? Second by Drew. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7, we had an emergency repair that we had to make, again, the way the state purchase law is, so to report back, how we ended up settling that and the amount of money. We also found there were a couple, we were reconciling our ARPA invoices. We found, I think, 3 that were considered emergency repairs that I need to get cleaned up from last year. We were just been aware of that regulation, we would have had it in the minutes, and we would like to get all of them read to the board minutes. Ms. Frank, y'all give you the details. That'd be hard to follow, but, all right, so for the emergency repair on Highway 15, when the truck ran off in the ditch on Martin Luther King Day, we had a bill from Paul City Construction, the amount of $6,500. Again, that was their labor and equipment to make get the sewer line back in place. And we had a bill from D&B Concrete for $736.60 for concrete to finish out that repair. We will be filing this on their insurance, and we should get full reimbursement for both these expenses. Another outstanding repair we had is at Apple Street Well. That was one that, goodness, probably back in November, we had trouble with that pumping some discolored water, and found out we had more or less rehab the entire well. Y'all allowed Donald Smith Company to come in and do that. That invoice is $64,865. Repairs complete. The items that we have that we need to catch up on the sewer side, these are 2 of them. 3 of them are repairs to the Highway 30 lift station. We had 2 different incidents out there last year where basically the pumps failed, and we went in to replace the pumps, and we found out kind of the inside of the station was rotten. So we had to do a lot of rehab work on the station. Again, one of the things more, as you got in there, just found more things wrong. All of these invoices were to J.R. Stewart Company. One is $17,568.88. One was $9,001.28 for the pumps and replacing some of the inner workings of the station. Then a control panel had to be replaced. That was $9,358.56. That was all the Highway 30 lift station. And then we had one repair on the Bratton Road 1 lift station. We had to get one of the pumps replaced there. It was $5,124.36. Again, those were in last fiscal year. Again, those were things that should have been brought forward probably early in the year. We're just not kind of doing the cleanup on that.
Okay, what's the will of the board?
They already been approved. Right?
They've already been approved. I think we just need to report. We just think we had to report back.
Back to report, make a public announcement and put those numbers into this.
That covers number 7.
Break the invoices.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're going to combine items 8, 9, 10, and 11. These are all bids we want to award for material for the new substation on Highway 348, as well as circuit improvements on Highway 348. We advertised these back in, I think we got approval back in November, when they were over November, December. We tabulated the bids 2 weeks ago. I will go ahead and read them all. If y'all want to, we can just approve them all in one vote. For the improvements on the Highway 348 circuit, Gresco Utility for $162,379.65. Part of that went to Arkansas Electric Co-op, the amount of $343,722.38. And then part to Annixter for $3,765. That's a total of $509,867.03. Again, that's to reconductor the Highway 348 circuit. 15 kV substation vacuum circuit breakers for the new substation for the Mitsubishi Electric Power, amount of $244,564. Again, I've got bid tabs on every one of these. We did have multiple bidders. These are all the lowest overall bids. Approval for a 161 kV power circuit breaker for the new substation to Siemens International, $201,840. And then the control house for the new substation to Modular Connections LLC, the amount of $314,133.
Got a motion by Will, I'll second. Second by Parks. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Again, a lot of times with these big projects, we do like a turnkey with a company, they buy all the material and do the labor. For these particular projects, we're buying the material ourselves, then we'll contract the labor separately. We should save money, it's just gonna be more items coming in front of the board as we move forward. Number 12, we need to advertise for electric materials and poles for the Northeast New Albany 13 kV distribution material. Again, I believe this is the, in order to connect that substation back into the grid, it's the material required for that. We'd like to advertise for that material.
Motion by Keith, second by Drew. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Item 13, Mayor, we've been working with Alderman Electric on the dark fiber leaks for the communication system. And I think we've got everything worked out with them. They won't get Reagan to look at it one last time.
Yeah, I haven't seen the last version.
Okay. But again, I think everything you put in there, we think got covered.
And then there were some things you added.
Yes, we got all our stuff covered. I guess what I'd like to do is get final approval subject to Reagan's final review. That's okay.
So moved.
Motion by Williams, second by Keith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Also have a new hire request. One of our dispatchers, Marty Baker, is in the process of retiring. We think that'll happen in February. We'd like to hire Jim Smith to replace him, subject to, to Marty's full retirement. We're mostly sure that's going to go through. The second hire we'd like to make is in the gas department. Michael Hostadler, I think he currently works with Pontotoc County. He'll be working on the gas construction crew.
So moved.
Got a motion by Drew, second by Williams, or Kevin Dale. You wanna make a second on that? Yeah. All right, okay. Yeah, I got you.
All right.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mayor, the last item we have is need to declare some surplus equipment. There's going to be an equipment auction at the fairgrounds the 1st of March, and we did find some items that, again, we are not using. We'd like to put in the auction. Again, I'll give Frankie the full information she needs. We actually have a 2020 F-150 pickup that's been totaled, and we think we can't get any, there's no parts for us to save off of it. We'd like to put that in the auction. There's a old right-of-way bush hog, again, at least parts of it are left. There's a Ford trencher, a little Ford tractor trencher. The trencher doesn't work on anymore, still a decent little tractor, but we don't use it for anything. The old chipper truck, 1987 Ford, F800 diesel engine. Again, it's just a rough old truck that we're not using anymore. We have another chipper truck that we use, and we've got the knuckle bend now that we use primarily. We have a Mobart chipper. It's kind of been our backup chipper. Over the years, we take the parts off of it. It does have a big Caterpillar engine on it. And then we have a pole trailer that looked like it came back from World War II that we are no longer using.
It might be worth
And
something.
maybe, I was thinking about asking Jill if she wanted that in the museum. It's that kind of thing. Those are items we'd like to put in the auction.
You gotta declare them surplus first.
Yeah.
What's the weather board on that? Motion by Parr, second by Drew. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Hey, Tim, let Bill know that we appreciate all the help, let the guys know we appreciate all the help up here.
Okay,
Yeah, sure will. Thanks, Kevin.
he will. All right. Media development, anything?
Nothing to report, sir.
All right, thank you. Police department, y'all got anything here?
Yes, sir. Just one thing. Just ask for approval to put in the same auction March the 4th, a 2005 Chevy Tahoe and a 2006 Ford Crown Victoria.
Right.
And
A motion by Kevin Dale, I'll have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Parks. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Park Rec?
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Fire Department?
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Street Department? Okay, anything done?
Mr. John, did you have it, were you able to find anything for the auction? Did you need to put anything in there?
I do, but I didn't get to be in on that.
Okay, that's fine.
Building inspector.
And emailed the monthly report. We had a zoning meeting, request from Stout Investment to rezone, property. The address is 1515 through 1529 South Central. From SN8 to SN5, it was approved. Request from Stout Investment, same address, for subdivision approval. It was approved pending rezoning. So I'd like to set a public hearing for March the 7th to rezone the 1515 to 1529 South Central from SN8 to SN5.
I got a motion by Keith, second by Will. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Here.
Okay, let's move on down to, consent agenda. This is something y'all want to bring up. Those minutes be approved, claim be paid. Action agenda, I don't have anybody got anything on storm shelter discussion? Street overlay discussion? Magnolia Theater update. Get anything good?
It's a lot. I'm gonna go through as fast as I possibly can. You guys should have received a packet that I put out in front of you. I don't know if you received it earlier, but it's gonna be the same thing, as far as the digital file goes. So there are some concerns, within the Magnolia Theater. Some of them are safety concerns. Others are, things that are not being up to code within the facility. The packet kind of lays all of that out. I'm just gonna go through it really quickly for you. I've talked with Eric and Mark both. They both have come and take a look. They've looked at everything and they kind of agree with what needs to be done as well. I call it what's called the domino effect. So in order for one thing to be fixed, another thing has to be fixed. The total project is going to come out it's going to be on page 3. At the very top, that's going to be the total amount of the project itself, which is $55,930.70. Those are going to be the bids from Bellatech Ghost Lighting Productions, which is out of Jackson, Tennessee. Those are the closest companies who do theatrical rigging. That's national certified theatrical rigging. Also, McClure Construction came in at the lowest bid, and he would be taking over the HVAC, electrical, and general contractor work as well. So what it is currently we are having issues with the lighting that's over the audience in the theater. Also the lighting that's over the general stage. The fixtures are a little outdated. They are the type of fixtures where you have to actually replace the bulb inside of them. Although they're LED lights, the bulb still exists, which means you have to gain access to the inside of the fixture. In order to do that, you have to snap the fixture open. So what's happening is when we have concerts and our larger 4D shows, those fixtures are starting to come down. We've had 2 fixtures fall during shows and one of them fell during a test. So they're pretty dangerous whenever they fall to the ground. They're about 10 pounds. It's just unsafe when it comes to lighting. The actual ceiling grid, which is the drop ceiling style, which is what you have above you, that's going to be, when they took a look at it, it was unlevel. So the way that the drop ceiling itself is hung, it's hung by wiring, and then the screw is mounted into the existing ceiling of the building. So over the years, which was 23 years ago, whenever it was installed, the actual ceiling itself is now starting to make a wave motion. And the tiles that we currently have are 2x4, which is no longer the standard tile in a drop ceiling. The ones above you are 2x2, which is now the standard. And the reason for that is because those ceiling tiles become center heavy over time, and they don't grab the sides like they're supposed to, so they start coming to the floor. So it's kind of the same thing. The reverberation from the sound in the building will start eventually bringing those down. Now, that's not a major concern right now, but it is part of the project over the stage because we currently don't have an existing ceiling above the stage. Mark's concern with that is that with no existing ceiling above the stage, in the event of an actual fire, then that fire is going to spread a lot faster. Within minutes, the entire ceiling itself is going to be engulfed because of the existing wood. There's nothing blocking it. So code and fire code both state that an existing ceiling needs to be put in above the stage itself. With that also being said, the current theatrical drapes, whenever the stage was extended, the actual drapes were not extended. I'm not exactly for sure when the time frame of the installation of the fire system in the building, the sprinkler system, but it's 11 inches off of the curtain line. Code states that it needs to be at least 3 feet. So that needs to be moved as well. We obviously wouldn't want to go back with it, so we need to go forward with it. And in order for it to go forward with it, it's going to land on the HVAC system, which also needs to be replaced. So that would have to come down as well. So again, it's the domino effect. A lot of things have to happen for one thing to happen. So what I'm asking for is I'm asking for financial assistance from the city to front the cost of the project, which is the $55,930.70. Now, with that being said, at 3 o'clock, I did receive a final bid. Didn't think it was going to come in on time, but it did. This bid is going to be from Sunbelt. Sunbelt quoted us to redo the entire drop ceiling at $26,682, which is about a $50,000 difference from the previous company that did the quote. So if we were just redoing what we're asking for, the 55, which is the ceiling, the lighting, and moving the curtain forward, if we just were to redo that, that's going to be $55,930.70. But if we added in, going ahead, jumping the gun, so that we don't have to do it in 5 years, replacing the entire ceiling grid, we're looking at about $65,000 to do the entire project.
How much currently is in the renovation fund? Do you know?
And they've got around 60,000 in 906 and the 55,000 this year already.
So that's included.
Yeah, so the 55,000 the city gave us, we have already done a little work that needed to be done as well. We also have McClure Construction, who they're on the books to do some other work throughout the facility. So as a board, and some of my board members are here tonight, so you can address them if you would like as well, and they can get up and they can speak. We talked about it as a board, and we just feel that if we did front the entire cost of the project, it would just put us in a financial bind where we cannot continue to do the type of shows that we are doing. So we've got a pretty good run now. We've got a good momentum going. So if we were to have to front the costs of the project, it's just going to put us in an area where we just cannot continue those types of shows.
So I didn't hear what you said, Frankie. Y'all have what we gave, and then in your fund, what was the total amount of money you have?
The balance sheet shows 59,642 right now.
We have about 59 in the bank right now.
And that's what the 55 was for
That's
transfer.
spread.
Yes, correct.
The 15 for programming and 40 for general maintenance.
So what are you asking
I
for?
heard him,
If at all possible, we would like the entire project to be funded at $65,000. That's everything.
You want us to fund, and y'all not use money out of the renovation fund?
Well, we have projects that we have been doing out of the renovation fund, so that's what we're asking. If worst comes to everything, what we would be able to do is I think the city would front all of the safety issue costs, and then we would take care of all the theatrical drapes that need to be moved forward. So I've got that breakdown, and you have it as well in front of you on the sheet. So $22,126.70. We would cover that, which is going to be all the moving of the theatrical drapes forward. which is gonna be off the sprinkler line itself. And then, you guys would pick up the difference between the 12670 and the 65.
Justin, did I hear you say that the ceiling tile is falling while you had shows?
The ceiling tiles themselves have not fallen while we've had shows. The light covers are falling when we have shows. The companies that came, which is worse, to be quite honest with you, because they're heavier.
Right.
These ceiling tiles, when they fall, I mean, it hurt, but it's not going to be as bad as if a light cover hits you. So.
Right.
You're saying with the quote you got today, that replaces all ceiling tiles in the entire theater with 2x2s.
Correct. That covers the entire project. That
And
means
replaces the lights where they're
correct.
2x2 LEDs.
All of the lights would be replaced to 2x2 lithodia LEDs, which is a fixture that you don't have to replace the bulb. You would have to replace the whole fixture, and it's almost impossible to come down. The ceiling would have to come down for that light to come down because it's mounted to the actual grid. So it would replace the lights. It would replace the entire grid. It also would move all of the curtains forward off of the sprinkler line, which would give us 4 additional heads over the stage to cover that area. It also would replace the ceiling over the stage itself.
I'm not prepared to vote on this. I'd like to table it, but one, this should have been budgeted, I think, we budget in September.
Yeah, these are concerns and issues that we weren't prepared for, to be quite honest with you. A lot of this stuff has come to light in December when we started doing the Polar Express, so we weren't prepared for them either. This is something new to us. Whenever we looked into the curtains themselves being moved forward, that's when everything else kind of opened up. So as far as prepared and being budgeted for it for this upcoming year, we were unprepared. We didn't know about it itself. If we don't move forward with replacing the safety issues, my question is going to be, how can we continue shows in the building knowing that a light may fall on someone or something? How are we supposed to proceed with like shows and things?
What's the deal with the curtain? Why does it need to be moved forward?
Well, so 10 foot was added onto the stage itself. So the goal was to move the curtain forward to give us more space, which means that whenever we send a company or a rider, those companies see the specs of our stage and they give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if they can come and perform. So we have a professional ballet company coming to perform in March. So that was the goal, was to move those curtains forward. But then when we looked further into it, when Mark and Eric came out, we noticed that the curtains themselves are blocking the spray. If they were to go off, they're blocking the spray for it to do what the head was designed to do. So it's currently 11 inches off the curtain, and code states that it needs to be 36 minimum. So if we moved it forward, because we wouldn't want to move it backwards because we'd lose stage, so if we move it forward, it's going to give us 48 inches off of the sprinkler head, but it's going to land on the actual HVAC vent. Whenever you look up into the theater, the big vents that are up there, it would land on that vent. So that vent would have to be taken down and replaced with smaller vents themselves.
How many sprinkler heads are there?
We currently have 4 sprinkler heads over the stage that are downstage. It's behind the curtain. If we move the curtain forward, it's going to give us a spray of 8. So we'd have 4 upstage and 4 downstage. This would all be behind the curtain.
So Justin, how quick can somebody,
we can
the safety problems we got?
We can have all of the work done by March 5th. So I've already contacted everybody and I've set up an imaginary calendar pretty much, and we can have all of the work done before our next show. So that's flying in the company from Ohio to come in and do all the professional rigging. That stuff has to be done by specific companies. And then that would be McClure Construction coming in and doing all the electrical that they would have to do. And then that would also be Sunbelt coming in and doing the ceiling. And we could have it all done by March 5th.
How long, it was 4 years ago when that curtain was hung, roughly?
Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm.
Again, whenever the curtains were replaced, that was not taken into consideration because we had not extended the stage. And then when we extended the stage, I mean, there's a ton of space now, in front of that stage because we have the two side wings along with that front that was extended. So it's almost a lost space a little bit now. And then when the safety concerns were brought up and of course, Justin contacted all of us in looking at it, again, it just made sense to go ahead and see how you guys felt on the overall issue.
So was that a code issue then when we
And
the curtains?
It was. It's, from my understanding, it's always been code. Yes, Mark? The distance between the sprinkler and the
Yeah, it
object.
depends on what code, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's written in code, the standard 18 inches from the ceiling and 36 inches around the head is being code.
I mean, but my point is, that if that was an issue, why didn't we address it then? And why didn't we hang the curtain if it was not appropriate to do it? I don't understand that.
I'm not sure.
So you made the comment on the dollars. So if there's $59,000 in the account, you're saying that you'll pay $22,000 of the project, right?
If we don't do the drop ceiling, which is not a necessity right now, it's not really a safety issue. The company is saying that in the near future, it will be a safety issue because of the way they're starting to sag, but that's not like a dire emergency to do right now. So if we just replace the safety issues, the city, we are asking the city to front the 33,804, and the Magnolia Theater would front the 22,126.70.
But your projections are that the remaining amount is what you need to survive through the year to be able to.
With the type of shows that we're doing, we had over 64,000 people through our building last year. So between October 2021 to October 2022, and with that we had a lot of shows, a lot of big shows, and with those shows come costs. We just feel like if we get down to a small number in our account, it's just going to limit the type of shows that we have on calendar to do in the future.
And the next big show is when?
Our next big show is March the 5th. It's Ballet Magnificat. It's the state's professional ballet company, and it's the world's #1 Christian ballet company. So they will be flying from Singapore to Albany, Mississippi.
Wow, that's cool.
Did we not make a motion on fixing the safety tablets?
The lights? Yeah, I think so. Right now, we can say the light. I'm not sure you can use construction money to put shows on, can you?
Well, the 40,000, so the 55, the city gives us 40 is dedicated to maintenance and upgrades, and 15 is for programming. The 40,000 itself, we are using that for maintenance and things like that. So we've paid Ted a few things. We redid the water fountains inside the building, and we have Ted to open up the old projection room wall. He's supposed to be opening up that wall, and we're supposed to be moving all of our controls in that room so that we can add more seats onto the balcony to get more seats, more ticket sales, more funds in the account. So all of our programming is based off of ticket sales itself. So the 40,000 that the city allots us for maintenance annually, some of it has been spent, but that's when I was saying we could pick up the 22,126.70.
And that's coming out of that 40.
That would come out of that 40. We have about 10,000 in the air right now that we have set aside from 2 months ago. We approved some stuff for Ted to come and do some work, McClure Construction. But he has not made it to the facility yet because he's still in Oxford. So.
Eric, any idea how much it would cost to extend those sprinklers out, to get them away from the curtain currently, just, the safety concerns of that aspect of it?
I don't have a clue what it costs.
But Jan, you gotta go all the way to that ductwork. I mean, 36 inches.
It doesn't have to go all the way to the ductwork, but I feel that if we're spending $22,000 to move the curtain forward, we might as well go as far upstage as we can, so that we don't have to redo it in the future. So the more stage we get, the more room we have, the more we have an opportunity to get these bigger shows inside of the facility. So riders are pretty strict when it comes to who can come to the facility and how much space that they need.
I mean, it seems all possible. Go ahead, Kevin Dale. What do you say?
Well, you making a motion?
And we fix the safety features that Justin talking about.
The lights or all of it?
That's gonna be, is that the 33 he's talking about?
That's the
Is it
current,
cost
that's
to
the current
fix that?
safety issues right now, that's correct.
33? Yeah.
33,804.
Where is that money gonna come from, Kevin Dale?
Can we use it from the, R fund? I mean, some of that money?
No, ARPA, no, I don't think so.
Infrastructure.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta fix those features in the house shows.
Yeah, it seems like it's fairly urgent to fix the safety issues, but we don't have we need a budget for these longer range plans. But I don't know where the money comes from. I mean, is there a possible source to draw this money right now without it being budgeted?
You'd have to amend the budget and get the money from somewhere. I don't know where you can get that.
What about one of the CDs we got sit there?
Majority of it's allocated to the municipal complex.
So, you said that Ted is committed, or you've committed to projects with him.
We have, yeah, it's about $10,000 worth of work.
$10,000.
And it's to open more seats up in the balcony, so that we can sell more tickets. More tickets means more funding. So, and it's to move all the controls into the old projector room, so that we have an actual control room.
But that's $10,000 is what?
Not necessarily. I think about 4,600 of that is allotted to that project. And then it's 3 projects. One of them is the control booth. One of them is adding what's called a backing bar to the balcony, so that we can get all of our big lights from 25 feet in the air to about 10 feet in the air, so that it's easier for us to go up and change lighting. And then the third one is to get electrical into the control room, so that we can control electrical throughout the building, because right now there's no electrical in the control room. So that's what those 3 projects were allotted for the $10,000.
And the total that we give you is $40,000 for maintenance, right?
Correct.
Here, so that, right, so that other $30,000 is available?
Not necessarily. We spent, I think it was around $3,200 for new water fountains in the lobby. So we did get some new water fountains. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. We've done a few other things as well. You don't have the finances.
It's around $15,000.
Yeah, about 15,000.
Of the 40 is
15 has been spent,
yeah,
so there's about
Yeah.
25 left.
correct.
Okay.
Is there anything that you've already planned for doing this year you could postpone?
I mean, yeah, technically, if we wanted to, we could stop the project of moving all the controls into the control room itself, which is just gonna limit us to how many people we can have in the building. Right now, we're packing them in like sardines as it is.
How many more seats will that give?
That's gonna give us 26 additional seating.
So what if we took that money and spent it on the light? I mean, lights sound like the most urgent need.
The lighting
Lighting.
fixtures, yeah, the lighting fixtures.
More
So
concerned
I
with the
don't
lights.
think
Well,
no more saying that.
But there's also no ceiling above the stage right now. The grid that was there when I started was so badly damaged that most of it had to come down. So now we just have the actual metal part of the grid, but there's no ceiling tiles there.
Are these lights that are the issue, are they mounted in that, this?
The
like this?
lights that you see
Are they the
in
drop
this
ceiling?
room are the exact lights in the theater. Yeah. So what's happened is the constant reverberation from our sound system is making them come loose. And I've talked to a few construction companies and we had talked about tapping the corners, but they're iffy on that because they say, well, if they go to tap the corner and something happens and it comes down, well, now they're liable, or they could be liable for whatever happens to someone, because they've altered the fixture's design itself.
So just the bottom part, the clear, is what's falling out, the actual fixture is no problem with that.
The way that it clamps itself in, it's the entire thing, it's not just the plastic.
I gotta go.
Okay, okay.
What if you just remove them temporarily?
We talked about that, and it's against code, right?
Well, you just have the exposed bulbs, and
Yeah.
so if they vibrate above that, it's gonna follow us, like,
So it's just the lens that is falling out.
It's not the entire fixture, but the way that they're designed is there's two clamps, and when you push them, it's going to slowly come down, and it's supposed to stay latched. But because of the reverberation from the bass and things when we have concerts and stuff like that, it's just too much for those to stay in place. It wasn't in 1999 and 2000, whenever they redid the building, they didn't redo it to have these big concerts. It was more of civic engagement. So that's the type of lighting they decided to go with. So with the change in operation, it's caused some safety concern.
At this point, though, the lights are the most important item.
The lights will be the most.
There's no ceiling currently above the stage, it's exposed wood that's 75 years old.
Yeah. And how much it cost to replace lights? You gotta put them on there.
To replace all the fixtures just above the audience, we're looking at about $4,600 with materials and labor.
Will those lights work when you change the drop ceiling to the 2x2?
Yeah, so what'll happen is the 2x4 light, when it comes out, they'll do a 2-foot crossbar, and then the actual fixture will land in the 2x2 spot, and that will be wired into the existing wiring. So the wiring does not have to be redone.
But they'll be LED, probably.
They'll be all LED,
Yeah.
and there's no bulbs, there's no replacing, there's no cover that can come down because the whole fixture is designed that way. So if it goes out, the entire fixture has to be replaced.
So if you just do the lights, they can be salvaged when the ceiling's redone. Will you still use the same grid if you go to the two?
The same grid.
Just
would
do
stay.
different tiles.
Correct. So they would take out the 2x4 tile, they would snap in a 2-foot crossbar, which now makes it a 2x2.
So the lights will be 2x2.
Correct.
Yeah.
It'll be smaller.
I think that's the easy fix, is
So-
do the lights for now. And then
Right.
at budget time, budget. for the
But
future.
also, the curtain and the sprinkler is an issue, safety issue.
It is. So
And I know
if
you
a
said
fire
this.
happens in the building right now, if those sprinklers were to go off, they're not going to do what they were designed to do because they're gonna be hitting the curtain. The curtain's blocking the spray itself.
Right.
Yeah.
It is, but I think Eric and I really weren't given a lot of the information that we needed to come up with a good plan. I would recommend on the sprinkler, let us go back to the drawing board because there's several options to do on what we can do as far as protection, and instead of having to worry about making a 3-foot clearance, maybe an 18-inch clearance. So there's some things here we probably need to really look at before we make a decision on that, in all honesty.
Well, we need to get the lights fixed for sure.
The lights definitely need to
They're
be fixed,
falling.
most definitely, yeah.
Well, just me personally, as one person,
Mhm.
I appreciate what you're doing and the fact that you've got something March the 5th where somebody's coming from that far, that's awesome. But you also have to understand from our standpoint, budgeting, we just can't make money up here. I mean, we have to have a plan for it. You did say though that the curtain, moving the curtain not only helps with the fire issue or the sprinkler issue, but also helps from a performance standpoint, right?
Correct. So what happened is when I contacted the ballet, their rider had specific dimensions of their stage. So I gave, or their rider had specific dimensions they needed. So then I had to turn around and give them our rider, which gives the dimensions of our stage. And because of when the stage was extended, and if you look at page 1, when the stage was extended, the red line that goes across image reference A is where the current main drape hangs. In front of the main drape is 10 feet of wasted space. 10 feet, so that's 1,344 square feet of wasted space that we can't use when the curtain is closed. So the curtain needs to be moved forward, which is going to gain us 1,344 square feet, which then we're going to be able to add to our rider, which then when we send that out to a production company who does shows like this, they're going to say you have plenty of room on your stage to do what we need to do, and we can come and perform.
So if you don't do this for this,
If we don't do this, the ballet can still come. We kind of talked around it. They know kind of what's happening right now, so they can still come. We actually wouldn't use a main curtain at all for the ballet. So the ballet would be an open curtain show.
and I know you probably said this, but how much was it to move the curtain?
Just to move the curtains, you're looking at about $22,000. It's $22,126.70, and that's two different companies: Bellatech out of Jackson, Tennessee, and Ghost Lighting Productions out of Jackson, Tennessee. Bellatech is the same company who we just got our new curtains from. So Bellatech, they're the ones who provided the materials and the curtains for us. From my understanding, the hanging of the curtains was just decided upon the theater of how they wanted them to be hung. So they give their recommendations, but however you really want them is how they'll hang them. But what the major expense in that $22,126 is the 4 guys that it takes to fly here, and they have to then go up into the main ceiling. And because they don't have anything to attach to, they can't attach it to the actual beam structure because the stage was extended. Yes, but the beam itself was not extended. So they have to go up into the existing structure of the beam of the building, and they have to do what's called fly rigging. So fly rigging is where they drop airplane cable down, and then they attach all of the crossbars, and then your main curtain's attached to those crossbars.
So what if you pay for that out of your money, the curtain?
Yeah.
And we fix the lights?
The only thing is the HVAC system, which is about $4,000. So that HVAC, that one vent would need to come down, and they would have to place smaller vents so that that curtain bar could land on where it needs to land.
So how far will that put the curtain from the sprinklers?
48 inches.
Or you backed up 12 inches?
It's still going to fall right on that vent line.
You're losing space on the stage with this stage.
Yeah, you do.
What
Yeah.
about so what about the AC unit? How much moving that? That's not in.
That's included in.
That's included in. That's not included in the curtain, but that's included in the 33,804.
So that is that the remainder of the 33,000?
33,804 would cover a new ceiling above the stage. It would cover redoing all of the lights above the audience. It would cover the HVAC being removed.
But we don't want to. I mean, we do want to fix the ceiling above the stage. That's not a need right now. That's a want. We want to do that. I mean,
is that?
Am I right?
I think we need to look at that again.
Okay.
And let's come up with a better plan. I do above the stage, because there's a lot of options that we can look at.
My thing is, I'm trying to help you figure out a way on performance to move the curtain.
Yeah.
And to me, that's.
If we cover the 22,126.70, would you be able to cover the takedown of the HVAC vent? And the construction of the furlough, or the
What would that
fur down.
be, like 11,000 or roughly?
The fur down,
With a vent, to move the vent.
to move the vent is 4,000. And then the fur down itself is going to, I don't have Ted didn't give me a breakdown of what the actual fur down would cost. So the fur down is a 2-foot section in front of the main drape that hides all the mechanics. So because we're moving the curtain forward, a fur down would have to be built. Because there's nothing to attach to anymore, they have to fly all of that rigging.
So between the lights, for $5,000, 55, whatever they were, and then the air conditioning unit, so that's about $10,000 you're asking from us.
Yeah, the HVAC at 4,000 and the lights at 4,600. And then I don't know what the fur down would cost. That's not broken down in Ted's bid.
That was just included in.
That was just
the
included
bid.
in the total cost.
And the 30,
And
And the 33.
and the 33,804. The fur down is a 2-foot, 48 feet structure.
I'm like Will, I know it's urgent that you
Yeah.
get this done because you got March the 5th. And I think we can table it, have a conversation about maybe where we can get our part of the money. I'm just speaking here, and then get back to you. I mean, we don't have to wait until next month.
March the 5th, the event's covered
It's been coming.
like it is.
But we gotta fix the lights.
March
fix the lights
5th,
and-
yeah, March the 5th, the event is covered as far as they can come into the building and we can have guests in the building. But we can't guarantee that a light is not gonna come
Well, I
on
mean,
with
that's-
somebody.
I
Yeah,
would
I mean,
think
unless-
they need to fix the lights by then.
Unless I'm missing something, we don't have a source of money right now. So you're gonna have to use whatever money we've allocated to fix the most urgent problems. And we're gonna have to plan for the future on the rest of this stuff. I mean, unless there is some source of money that I'm not aware of, or maybe we take out a loan. I mean, if we were to fix all this, how would we even get the money?
Has it in the budget, if it's there?
Huh?
Couldn't we look at amending the budget?
Yeah, but y'all have to vote to do that, but.
No, ma'am, I'm saying that's an option to look at, is that correct?
Yeah.
But you have to take
But
from
where
some.
would you get
But
it?
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll have to look to see. I don't know if we can get that kind of
Plus, it's gonna take a while, so I mean, you're gonna have to use the money we've already given you for these urgent problems.
so would I need to come back and get approval, or could I just get approval from my board, on whatever we decide to come out of our budget?
That's what the renovation fund is for, the maintenance, upkeep of that building.
But if it goes
Y'all-
over, because right now we have 59 in the account, the city gave us the 40,000, but we've spent 15 of that, so technically we only have 15 left. Can we dip into
Yeah,
whatever we need to?
25,
Yeah,
No, I mean, the money's still a problem. If you go over that 40, you'll have to come
Yeah, I
back
can't go
to the.
spend what you have.
in our own account, so like ticket sales and things like that, can we go into those funds?
Yeah, that might be budgeted.
Where do you put them now? Ticket sales and stuff.
Ticket sales all goes into the Magnolia Theater account itself. Yep, the only thing that goes back in the general funds is rentals.
Can his board vote to amend if they got the money in the ticket sales? I mean, just for y'all,
Yeah, for legal,
Yeah,
yeah,
wanna make sure we're following.
yeah, I don't know about that either.
I might want to ask a question to James Biggs about that, but I kind of think so.
But I do think, Justin, to me, it sounds like the first thing, regardless, you have money in the fund, the lights need to be fixed before the
Yes.
next thing.
my thing is when I was talking about the domino effect, that quote is for example, That's 5,000 square feet of lights being placed throughout the building. So how are they gonna get to those lights? So I would have to go back and speak with Ted and see how he would want to go about. Is he gonna bring a lift in the building? Are they gonna bring scaffolding? Was scaffolding included in that cost? So the 4,600 is just the material itself. That's, well, the material and the labor. It's not necessarily for the material of scaffolding. So I would have to go back and speak with Ted and see what he would charge for something like that. I'm not exactly for sure. There were multiple companies that we would have had lined up that would have had all the things that we need because we would all be working together. So like the ceiling company would have had scaffolding that the lights could have been put in. So I would have to talk to all these companies and go back and see who would provide what. So I'm not sure.
You can probably ask Ted how would he get up if he's gonna replace the lights.
Yeah, so, but what
Can we get a lift in
what
there?
would be the cost of that, so.
Can we get a lift in there?
There's been one in there.
We own a lift, we have a lift, but it's great for the stage, but it's dated for on incline. So if it's on a specific incline, it won't raise up. The new lifts, of course, they level themselves out. But this older lift does not necessarily do that. It's great for using on stage.
I guess I'll with Ted and see if he can use that lift. He might come over and look. Whatever, I mean, you know, like I said, we can't print money after the budget's done.
So if we, let's say we want to fix what we can fix. So if it goes over what has been allotted for maintenance, are we allowed to if we have $59,000 in our account and the whole project's gonna be 40,000, can we spend the 40,000?
Can we talk on that tomorrow? I think the answer is yes, but I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Your board will have to approve.
My board would
By
approve.
being, yes, but,
Right.
yes, sir.
Mayor, I'm trying to follow the money here. The money, the revenue generated by the sale of tickets, whatever it amounts to, does that money flow over the books of the city of New Albany? And does the city clerk know where that money is? And
That's part of this 59,000.
so Frankie, you get that.
Ticket sales go directly into my
They go down to the Civic Center.
That's one of the things I want to talk about tomorrow, so I'll know the answer to that.
I'd say in the meantime, you need to talk to Ted and see if he got a way to get up to their kids. To change those light fixtures, because if they're falling, they need to be changed, I think. And we'll let Mark and Eric look at what's on stage again, see. And I agree, your curtain needs to be moved. There's something that don't have to be done by March 5th, does it?
It's not something that has to be done by March the 5th. The curtains will have to be reinstalled, which takes about a week, because right now they're not installed. So the curtains will have to be reinstalled. The curtain company will not be able to get to us until November of this year, once we don't have, if they kind of pulled some strings for us because we've been such loyal customers to them. So Ghost Light Productions was able to come in at the end of the month. But if they can't come in at the end of the month, the next available time is gonna be September of this year.
So what do you mean the curtains are not installed now?
Well, the curtains have been taken down for maintenance, so what happens is annually, since I've been here, I take everything down and I clean it. So all the lights comes down, that's how we keep nice things and everything stays working. So everything comes down, so everything come down, all the pipes were clean, everything's ready to go back up. But, the goal was to move the curtain forward, so let's not put them up, have to take them back down and then re-put them back up. Yeah.
So what's it gonna cost to put them back up? Like you are now?
I do it. I'm the one that does it. Yeah.
Well, you talk to Ted and see what the light deal is, and Megan can research the law about your board amended.
So if he gives us the thumbs up to move forward and we decide to do whatever we decide to do and it comes out of the 59 that we currently have, we're good to do that.
As long as it's legal, he'll tell you if
Yeah.
it's, we'll figure that out. We go over the 40.
I think you can spend anything there, but if you spend over that amount in the renovation fund and you spend the program, there's not gonna be.
Well,
anymore for?
Well, we have some money that's, I mean, I don't like to concrete money that we don't necessarily have in our account. But we have the Little Mermaid is coming up, and we sold $12,000 worth of tickets last week from the Little Mermaid, just private school shows. Those tickets have not went on sale to the public yet. So that's not even including public ticket sales. So we're looking at about $16,000 off this one show. We made 25, something like that, off the Polar Express in December, so. Yeah, so the shows are there. As long as we can continue to do them, we'll continue to bring in those funds.
You grossed or netted?
For all of our 4D shows, everything's going to be net except for the expense of the actual show itself, the rights to the show, which is usually about $300, $350. So everything outside of that is profit because we own all the equipment now.
So you're out of the 16,000 you're saying for Little Mermaid.
That is what has been guesstimated with ticket sales with what we've already reserved for the schools and then what's going to be sold to the public.
So 300 to come out of that.
That's correct, and that includes just May. We haven't even talked about we have a few shows coming up. We have the Greatest Showman that's coming up. We have the Star Wars Day that's coming up. The ballet that's coming in that we're still selling tickets for. So
You sold $12,000 already?
we have reserved $12,000, which means that we have X amount of seats reserved for students at X amount of dollars. So usually the students don't pay until the day of when they get there. The teachers usually bring the check from the school or whatever the case is. And we reserved enough seats already up to $12,000, and we're still reserving. So, yeah.
So it sounds like you just need to hear from Reagan if it's legal or not.
Correct. Yeah. If we can spend those funds, then we should be good. But yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Justin.
So, all right. Landfill invoice review. I want to talk on that now in executive session.
I think, yeah, we might revisit it after executive session.
Okay. Item A is approved request for cash number 5 for $160,337 for Munford Drive project. CDBG project 1138-2174.
We combine that next one the same, next three?
Yeah. So that's E, F, and G.
And H.
Item F is approval for same Munford Drive project for $17,561. Medley Bridge Engineering. Item G is a pay request for Munford Drive, CDBG project for $135,823. And item H is approved pay request Munford Drive for $20,000 for Three Rivers Professional Services.
Some
I got a motion by Will, do I have a second? Second by Parks, any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and item I is consider executive session for personnel and as we come out the land.
Some of it.
Motion by Will, I have a second on executive. Second by Keith, any other questions or discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
We